we all will agree that online learning came extremely rapidly, unexpectedly. Most of the education systems were not ready. Most of the education system at first months were shaking around how to secure technology, how to secure the content, how to secure the educational process. This big shift to online learning put the question on the table for personalized education. It's a big question since many years, personalized education for students. But now it's much more clear that with education, with new online technologies, with tools that we have, and with a massive length of the technologies, even to preschool students, personalized learning is achievable and could be successful. And of course, as Oliver said, there is a big question how we prepare our students for the future, because now the future looks like a little bit different. Traditional jobs are disappearing, and we all saw this from even students saw it from their parents' experience in the last 2.5 years. I used the word must, not should, not could, but must. So what students must access technologies that prepare them for the future. They must avoid distracting and focus on learning. And you will see exact examples that I have in the next slides. They have to communicate and collaborate in school and online. Teachers must provide personalized learning for all students they have. Enable learning from everywhere and engagement from everywhere with the students. And maximize the class time. Why? You all know that class time in online education was cut off compared to the actual class time. What administration must? Equal access to digital learning for children of all backgrounds. Support with devices students, because not every student has a device. And this is what the reality when we started back in March 2020. And balance with very tight funds they have to secure technologies. And what IT professionals must? Manage and deploy devices remotely. Save students and teachers' data and identities, and protect data and devices. I want to refer here to what Oliver said, that in his presentation, it's expected by 2024, 80% of K-12 institutions to outsource their IT support. I would say, I just want to share with you an information from a week ago. The Association of School Principals just reported that for the opening of the school year, 10% of the seats for IT teachers cannot be filled. So 10% of schools will start without an IT teacher in the school. It's a huge challenge, and I believe it's the same everywhere. So now I will walk you through my personal walk for device-based education and why the device is the most important one. Let me show you the casting, and it is as of March 2020. This is my daughter Elena, 9-year-old at that moment, and at 3rd grade. And this is my son Stefan, at that moment in preschool, 5-year-old. None of them at that moment have even a mobile phone. Mobile phones are not tolerated in primary education, and usually students do not have mobile phones. They have those Mikey bracelets or whatever one to track the child for security purposes, to have some connection, but not a mobile device as a tablet or as a personal phone. Of course, they used mine. They even abused my phone, but they didn't have their own one. So I'm a mother of two learning students, learning from home. I'm a Microsoft employee, and why it is important? Because I deeply support my school and the whole education system in the implementation of the e-learning system in Bulgaria. And also I'm a chairman of the parents committee in my kids' school. It's also important because together with the IT admins of the school, we organized a community of parents at the beginning to support learning process. What is the context? My kids' school, it's a municipality school. It has robotics. I wouldn't say it's a regular school, but it's a small school at the center of Sofia, which is important. Center of Sofia, in Sofia, this is the city with the biggest income in the country of Bulgaria, and it has some innovative programs. So they were somehow equipped, at least with some modern devices, some knowledge with IT specialists to support robotics teaching. In 1 week after it was announced, 15th of September, that Bulgarian education is moving online, 100% of the lessons were moved to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams was deployed on a national level. I believe that during the 2 days, my colleagues will share this case as this is the biggest deployment in the world in a single tenant. So what we have in our school, we have a huge mess with devices at the beginning. Own or school provided for teachers, for students. And the biggest question to the leadership of our school was to how to grant equity and equality in this absolutely unknown situation. So let's talk about education experiences designed for all. Students are very diverse. They have different backgrounds. They have different abilities to study, and they have different access to technology. So this is the data of my daughter as she was at school, son was at the preschool. 5 out of 24 students used their parents' cell phones. 3 of them used desktops with monitors, but without camera. 7 used tablets. We have 3 students, one with attention deficit, one with concentration deficit syndrome, and one with dyslexia. And moreover, we have 1 student with autism. This student is not part of the everyday process. This student is engaged with the special teachers during the regular classes. Also, we have a very different home environments. In Ilina class, there was a family with 3 kids living in a 2-room apartment. 3 kids studying online and 2 parents working online in a kitchen and 2 bedrooms. Access to internet was also a very big question. And before March 2020, I imagined that everyone has access. Everyone has a personal device at home, which is not the reality. A lot of people not working in IT use their mobile phones for email, for social media, and the computers in their offices. It's not a mandatory to have device for everyone. So how a teacher is managing this different device environment? I show the picture here. All the pictures are taken from my kids studying process. This is how the educational process was at the beginning. This picture is maybe of end of March. So you see the traditional book, you see the computer, and in the back left corner, you see a teacher that is trying to teach kids to move the traditional process into online one. So now, if you remove the computer, imagine a mobile phone. Imagine a parent's mobile phone. How this look like for kids, young kids, for their ears, how they hear, noise that could be around, etc. Of course, this situation changed in the month and a half. All the publishers opened up their platforms, changed their content, and the process became more and more digital. So what is Windows devices are designed for students. They're designed for high definition video conferencing. It's important teacher to see the students. It's important to have real-time video. Accessibility features. On that topic, my colleague Diana, I believe she will talk more. But the accessibility is more and more and more important in the era of new technologies, of blended learning, of online learning for students and for teachers. Easy of access settings. Easy of access, what this means, I told you that we had a group of parents together with the IT teachers of the school. We were 12 people. Believe it or not, most of the parents needed support with setting, with downloading Teams and the basic setup of the computer. Allow camera, allow microphone. Some features were blocked initially, they were not aware. So for 2 or 3 days, we covered all 600 parents, helping them to set up the device. Student independence. It's important to be able very easy to participate in the educational process with sharing, with presenting, with raising hand, to give a signal, not to disturb the educational process at the same time, and to navigate easy. It's obvious, especially for small kids, it's easier for them to use touch screens. I gave my kids a mouse and they didn't know how to use it. And Microsoft, with their partners, has a variety of offerings of devices, affordable devices with touchscreen and active pen. So what is next? It's important simply to deploy, manage, and secure. Why deployment? So in the summer of 2020, our government started to equip all the schools with devices, all managed centrally, autopilot-ready devices. And I believe in the next session and during the 2 days, you will get the full understanding of the benefits of autopilot managed devices. 100,000 were supplied until the summer of 2022, which means that every 6th student in the country is provided with a device from school. And all students are using unified and centrally managed device. I will not speak about benefits. You will get everything from the next presentations. But let me speak about security and privacy. A race of attacks. There are a lot of data in the last 2 years. Attacks, although in the educational system, are raised dramatically, exposing data, blocked access, network shutdown. It's complicated, difficult to manage, and it requires a lot of knowledge. Teams ready in any moment to prevent the attacks. And the other topic, it's the child online abuse. I found some academic research on that topic. I see some publications are popping up now in the research basis. And on child online abuse, it's primarily bullying. But think about giving an access to technology in hands of 6-year-old boy, as my son was on that photo. And I'm sure you know that kids are very fast. Very fast, they understand what to do and how to do. By the way, he's texting me now from his summer school. So he's somewhere hidden, texting me on something. When you think about device, you have always think about that this device will go in hands of kids primarily. It's still not measured the impact of giving access to devices of so young students. But I can tell you that my daughter was exposed on an attack and she didn't share with me. She shared with her teacher in English, and she shared with her teacher in English because her teacher in English is 24 years old and she feels her like more close to her. And she explicitly asked her teacher of English not to tell her parents because she was afraid that she will be punished somehow. She didn't understand that she was actually attacked. So for me, choosing the right device is primarily to protect kids. In Windows 11, Windows Defender is part of Windows 11. It detects and blocks malware with a certain configuration. It helps defend students from unsafe web content. I keep telling this, unsafe content is very, very dangerous for such young kids. Through Azure Active Directory, with the deployment, you will get the whole process. There is a single sign-on and access to everything to minimize disruption. With the Active Directory, there are special features that help to protect access and identity. and lock down unsafe apps. Again, simplify management and deployment. And I want to say that Microsoft is committed to students' privacy. I worked for this company for 16 years, and this is something that is constant in our internal and external message. And all the products that we made those products with the commitment to the students' privacy and security. Optimized performance for low-cost devices. Before, I would say March 15th, because this is the date of complete lockdown in Bulgaria, including schools. All schools were responsible financially for the IT equipment from their own budgets. It's a very, very big challenge. From your own budget, you have to decide, should you refurbish a classroom? Should you change the window, the infrastructure, some infrastructure in the school? Should you buy a computer? Or should you buy something else, build a sport? It was very challenging, and most of the schools were not prepared. Because in our country, we have computer labs with desktops where students enter and take their IT classes. Very few laptops, mainly provided to the teachers. And in the last 2-3 years, innovative schools started to experiment with one-on-one learning, but in very few schools and with separate classes. 100,000 devices were equipped per year, which is 45 million euro. Those 45 million euro given from the government, but government needed to decide, should they give them for hygienic materials, for additional beds in hospital, for additional on top of salaries of doctors that are on the front line. And many, many questions are coming. This is a big challenge about the budget. And of course, the question that each and every decision maker, school principal, Minister of Education or Prime Minister is asking, how to buy more quality computers for less money. As I said, with our partners, we work together for a range of cost-effective, personalized educational devices built for education, built for the classroom and for online learning. The starting point of a device, a cloud-ready device, is less than $250. It can vary. It can vary based on the volume. It could be low. It can vary based on the taxes on import. You all know this. But still, we have a huge portfolio of educational devices together with our partners on a very favorable price. Optimal experience with apps optimized for those devices like Word, Excel, OneNote, and Teams. My daughter made her presentation in May 2020. Although she didn't start to learn PowerPoint, she will start this year. But it was part of the personalized learning. Her teacher in robotics started to engage more with kids that can help other kids. So her first presentation was made when she was 9, and officially she will now start this year to study PowerPoint. Work or study all day with 10 hours battery life, more than 10 hours. Of course, no one should study and work all day. But 10 hours battery in educational life means that if your child forgot to power its device, on the next day, this device is ready to work. So mommy can come and check, and for 1 week to teach the child to charge the device. It was super common scenario where at the beginning, parents popping up, calling the teacher saying, I'm sorry, we will be 5 minutes late because our device is not charged. And for 20 minutes lesson, you can imagine how much lost time is this. Behind Windows 11, there is an analytics system that shows which apps you are using more, so they run faster, while apps that you are not using are on the background. There are some data here that you will see. Those data are from United States. 75% of students say the WOW school is the one that is providing laptop for each and every student. And it's logical when you go to school together with the books to take your personal device. So 75% of students found it. And this is a trend, and this trend will dominate in the next couple of years. Moreover, 87% of teachers worldwide expect to use more technology to teach. So it's not just students that want technology. It's teachers that expect. Teachers' expectation means that they start to prepare. I recommend device with a touch screen. This is the device that my kids use. This is the device that is everywhere in our educational system. This is what was purchased under the big tender by the government. Touch screen for students is much more familiar, much more easy for them to navigate, intuitive. And as I said, and I'm sure you will agree, kids are very intuitive with new technologies. So they can recite, arrange apps, perform quick actions with touching the screen. I think I mentioned that I gave my kids, the daughter, the bigger one, a mouse, and she was not able to use it. Access to information with widgets. Customize desktop with easy off-access widgets. What you need, tips, keep assignment. This is especially useful for teachers. As one teacher, he's teaching in 5, 6, 7 classes. Track daily schedule, view educational videos, continue to learn more. Desktop for learning, again, very useful for teachers with different layouts that you can use. Access your latest layouts on multiple devices, make the educational process easier, especially for teacher size. And as I said, you see in my presentation that I was talking only for my personal story with my 2 kids who are in primary education, meaning K to 8. A year ago, Microsoft presented Windows CE-based devices. Those devices are particularly dedicated to primary education, to K to 8, up to 8th grade. As in that period, educators need simpler environment to support younger students. Distraction-free environment, easy to access apps, very simple sign-in. Why? To maximize class time for learning. I told you 10 minutes distraction, 10 minutes on a phone or tablet lost in, I can't turn on my camera. 10 minutes lost in explaining to the teacher that a child cannot open the keyboard on a tablet or phone. 10 minutes explaining that the child is not seeing anything on the mobile phone of their parents, out of 20. IT leaders need help with affordable devices to promote learning, with simple deployment and management, optimal device performance, and moreover, as I said, keep data, identities, and devices secured. Windows 10 SE device is built for education, for one-on-one education. It has preloaded Office apps. It's designed to improve focus without most of the distractions are eliminated, with a full control of downloads and device deployment and management, with only ITs can download and manage those devices. It works very seamlessly with the third-party apps. 100% in schools of United States are planning to implement one-on-one programs in the next year. Maybe in other countries we will not be so fast, but in next 3 to 5 years, this is a trend and this will happen. It is optimized performance for a low-cost device. It has only educational apps, so those apps are preloaded on the device. We built a list now with educational apps. This list is dynamic. So the educational apps that an educational institution needs are preloaded on the computer when the computer is installed, and the cost of the device is extremely, as it written here, budget friendly. It has a super fast start time, so students to stay focused, and it has much better performance.